Hey everybody, welcome into today's live stream. Hope everyone is doing great. We're going to start the show in just a few minutes. Just want to wait to make sure everyone can get in here to the live stream. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. This is our real estate investing channel where we focus on becoming a more intelligent real estate investor. Today we're going to be talking about the two main reasons why now is the perfect time to invest, given some of the new changing market conditions that we're going to go into today. Let me know if everyone can see me here in the chat. See me over on, what's going on Facebook? Facebook is acting weird. Oh, you guys can see me over on Facebook, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and smash that like button if you guys can see me and hear me. Hey, Tony Peters, good morning from North Carolina. Good to see you. We usually wait a few minutes to allow enough people to come in because YouTube sends out their alerts, their notifications. If you guys are subscribed, make sure you turn on that little bell notification so you'll be notified when we publish a new video or when we go live, so you won't miss that notification. Lenora Harper, good to see you. Good morning, Clayton and Grover. Gregory Jacob, good morning from Minnesota. Good to see you as well. Hey, Sherry Dixon. Hello from Pittsburgh, Paucus World of Entertainment, my old stomping grounds, my alma mater, University of Pittsburgh. Hey, Sherry Dixon. Keith Sakowitz, James Rue. Thank you, Ethan, for the new, comments about the new studio. You guys on, just want to make sure you guys are not hearing, echo, are you? Just want to make sure, because I got the Facebook browser up over here. Okay, good. Thanks, Gregory. No echo. Good. Adam Wolf says no echo sound is good. Good. So I'll open it up for some Q&A here in a little bit. Any questions you have, feel free to include those. Lindsay H., good to see you. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about two reasons why now is the perfect time to invest. A couple of key indicators that I've been keeping our eye on. start just in a few minutes, straight up at noon, noon Eastern time. But I like to... Tony Jocelyn says, 2 shows. Yeah, I do my main morning live show, and then here on the channel, this is just real estate focused. Just real estate investing. It is a hot one today. It's like 70 degrees. Adam Wolf, you're listening from Moscow, Russia. Wow, Adam. If it sounds good there, it's sound good anywhere, you say. How cold is it there, Adam, right now? Ethan. And of course, I'll open it up to Q&A here in just a few minutes. I'm going to do a few stories, and then I want to open it up for some Q&A. But Ethan, what I recommend REITs are real estate investment trusts. They're investments in real estate. They're stock, basically. No, I'm not a fan of REITs. As Tom Wheelwright likes to say, the smartest tax accountant in the world, our real estate tax accountant, he says, why would you invest in something that's like basically 3 levels removed from the actual asset itself? And you don't get the tax benefits of owning REITs. So with a REIT, you're really just owning stock in other people's investments of properties. And so, no, I'd rather invest in the actual properties myself. Joelle Martins says, it was since your alert that I started to invest in real estate 4 years ago. Awesome. Gregory Jacob says, I wish it was hot here. I got 10 inches of snow last night. No. Ethan, you are welcome. It's 36 degrees in Moscow, Russia. Thanks, Brady. Well, you know the truth, the actual truth. So no need to lie. Good afternoon, Nicole. Well, I am excited for today's show. Grover just joining us back over here. Where you going, buddy? Grover wants to sit and watch the show today, too. Come over here, buddy. Okay. We're going to talk some real estate today. Okay. All right. It is noon Eastern time, so let's get this party started. Toff, good morning. It's going well. Yeah, Babbel is good. Also, I would recommend there's a YouTube channel that actually it's called Learn. I think it's called Learn Portuguese. They actually have a website, and the thing is, you'll learn there's like a difference between Brazilian and European version of it, and so you definitely want to learn the European version of it. That's very important because some of those like websites, they cater to like the Brazilian version, and then that's not going to help you. So, Peter, good to see you. So, Adam, what are you doing in Moscow? Are you there visiting, or that's where you live? Bill Perdue, you are welcome. Oh, you are from Pennsylvania, but you're in Moscow, huh? Okay. All right, let's get this party started, shall we? All right. See me okay? Good. Grover sitting down here. You gonna hang out? Okay. Good. All right. Welcome into the Real Estate Investing Show. I'm Clayton Morris, the founder of Morris Invest. So glad to have you all here. Today on the show, on this live, we're going to be talking about why this is a perfect time to invest in real estate. There's a couple of market conditions that we're paying attention to right now. And these things are going to change. They're already starting to change. That's why we can get in at these numbers now, and this will pay huge dividends later on. So let's get into it. I'm going to take some of your questions here at the end, and we'll dive into those. But there are really two main reasons why now is the perfect time to invest. So let's talk about number one. And maybe obviously to many of you, but maybe not so obvious to others, and it's interest rates. So interest rates right now are at historic lows. And those interest rates are likely to start going up as they are tied to that federal benchmark rate, which is the 10-year Treasury. And so that 10-year Treasury note, very, very important for the Federal Reserve. And as that rate changes, so goes the entire industry. If that federal benchmark 10-year Treasury starts to change, mortgage rates, credit card rates, all of those things start to change as a result. Now, the Federal Reserve has said that they intend to keep rates as low as possible for the foreseeable future, but they might not have a choice but to raise interest rates as inflation starts to creep up. Now, the Federal Reserve has already talked about inflation. If you've been paying attention to this channel for any length of time, you know that the Federal Reserve has kept inflation right around that 2%, a little bit under 2%. And you also know that real estate is a hedge against greater inflation. The US dollar is not. If you have your money in the US dollar, that is not a hedge against inflation, meaning that your dollar today is worth less tomorrow and the day after that, because that dollar sitting in a US bank account is going to continue to decline in value as inflation goes up. Now, when you own real estate, though, the appreciation of that real estate, which is historically, even if we take a conservative 4%, there's many markets where that's far exceeding that. So just on the appreciation level alone, you're exceeding the inflation rate of the United States dollar, which is very important. And of course, inflation is what? It's goods and services, it's manufacturing, it's the price of things. And the buying power of that dollar goes down, milk costs more. You know, you think about a Happy Meal in the 1980s, which I don't know what a Happy Meal was in the 1980s, but like what, $3, $2.99 or something? And now it's like, what, I don't know. I haven't bought a Happy Meal in a while, but it's like $7.99, $6.99. Same Happy Meal. Not much is different, right? But the price of that Happy Meal is more, and the buying power of your dollar is less. Additionally, if we look actual coins, I mean, if I take a look at this like penny, U.S. penny, this is a I thought this was my 1972. 1972 was the last year that we actually used real copper in pennies. Now it's an alloy, and it's not even real copper. So the cost to actually create a penny today actually loses the U.S. government money every time it prints pennies. That's why there's a move to try to get rid of printing pennies, and it doesn't even have copper in it anymore because the demand for copper is so high. It could even exceed silver and gold prices in the near future. So these interest rates right now are at historic lows to the point at which it's almost free money. And we're talking about almost 0% interest right now. At 0% interest, that's virtually where we are. You're able to tap in and invest in real estate with other people's money, banks' money. Now, the beauty of real estate investing, and unlike any other asset, now someone earlier in the chat before we started the show asked about REITs, R-E-I-T-S, REITs, real estate investment trusts. And the beauty of not investing in REITs and buying actual properties is that REITs are just a stock in real estate. And so that is not a hedge against inflation. And when you buy that REIT or you buy a stock in the stock market, let's say you want to buy Ford stock, okay, or you want to buy Apple stock, and you want to buy $100 in Apple stock, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to get out your $100 and you're going to have to buy $100 of Apple stock. No bank is going to give you 80% to invest in Apple stock. You're going to have to come up with 100% of your investment. Of course, the beauty of real estate investing is that now a bank is going to give you 80% to buy an investment. And with interest rates at virtual zero, it's like getting free money. When you think about inflation and where interest rates are, it's virtually free. Now you're putting 20, 25% down on your purchase, but someone else is putting up the other 80%. What other investment can you get like that? You cannot. Let me just answer it for you. You cannot. So interest rates right now are starting to show some signs that they are going to have to trickle up given the fact that inflation is going up. The government has been printing a lot of money. Maybe you've heard about multiple stimulus plans. And now there's the new infrastructure plan, which is going to be could be upwards of $4 trillion and is likely to pass before Memorial Day. That's the goal. $4 trillion infrastructure package for union jobs, green energy, roads, bridges, rail systems, new bus routes, all kinds of infrastructure. That could pass before Memorial Day. That's the goal. And you're already seeing signs that these interest rates are going to have to follow suit. As home builder confidence, take a look at this article from this morning. Home builder confidence drops as interest rates and lumber prices rise. So the second thing on my list here, the reason why investing right now makes a lot of sense, is that lumber prices going up. Because that's why investing will actually save you money later if you're investing now. Interest rates have gone up. They're back down towards record lows as of today. I check the interest rates every morning, and I noticed like the down to 2.97% on the 30-year, on the 15-year, right around that, right around 2.9, 2.8, somewhere in that range, always hovering right around there. So I highly encourage people to lock in a rate before they move again. And then we have this lumber shortage. And this is a big deal. And take a look at these numbers. If you're buying a new home, expect to pay $24,000 more than you normally would as this worsening lumber shortage pushes wood prices up 180%. Adam, who's in our chat right now, says, he's been hitting these rehab numbers about a 1% return, or about a 1% instead of about a 3%. And struggling to keep those numbers down. Yeah, and as lumber prices continue to go up, look at that, up 180%. So if you're doing this yourself, you can expect to be seeing your costs, really, really tighten up here. I mean, you're going to really see very, very thin margins. Like if you were already planning on not making much on a flip or a rehab, it's about to get a lot tighter. So this lumber shortage, COVID had a huge impact on the lumber industry. Have to take their trees down, then they have to be shipped, then they have to be processed. This was stopped for months. No trees being felled. By the way, I love that word, felled. No trees being felled. No transport. No processing. And then you have inflation, and the price of lumber have gone up nearly 70%. And that's starting to translate right now to current lumber situations and the shortage of supply and an increased demand. It's all bad. Increased demand, where right now we're into this spring season where everyone wants homes. And we have an affordable housing crisis in the United States where we need 20 million homes built. So when you see that, builders are a little nervous here, They're saying, okay, we've got some interest rates are going up a little bit and lumber prices are rising. That means a lot of these new home builders might be pulling back. Saying, wait a second, maybe we're just going to slow our roll a little bit. That's going to create even more demand for these properties. And when you have construction costs increasing $14,000 to $30,000 per house because of lumber, those prices are going up. Now, here's what's amazing is bulk developers like what we do at Morris Invest, building over 300 homes this year with our team. The beauty is we get bulk purchasing power. So we're basically able to knock on every lumber company's door to buy at today's prices. Next month it's going to go up 24%. So we've been able to lock in prices by buying in bulk. And then that way prices will stay lower. And because we bought bulk packages of lumber, we're still able to keep our prices low and then pass that on to our clients at Morris Invest because we made that economy of scale in those purchases. But people who can't buy in bulk don't have this purchasing power right now. So it works in favor for our clients that you can actually lock in great prices and pay way less if you work with us. And by the way, you can if you'd like. If you just book a call with our team at Morris Invest, you can do that. But because we're buying in bulk, and that's the thing to be able to do at scale, by be able to buy water heaters and furnaces and all of those things on a large scale, we're able to lock in those prices at a much lower rate. And it makes it much more difficult for the individual one-off investor to go out and then do this on their own. To go out and, you're finding a flip deal in 2 months, be prepared to pay a lot more in lumber. So you might want to look at if you're doing these projects individually right now, really make sure that you've got your prices locked in. Or if you are about to invest and you're trying to find an off-market property in a particular market to hold for a rental investment, really make sure that your numbers make sense. Make sure that you're planning for these lumber price increases. Again, $24,000 to $30,000 per home. And so because we're able to lock those prices in at scale at our company right now, this is like a warning to all of you, because as these interest rates go up, on top of lumber prices going up, we could be in for a bit of a crap show. And not to mention the fact that there's going to be, we're already seeing this mortgage forbearance issue for people, for people living in a primary home. Never mind investing. It's a different category, of course. What we do here on the show and what we teach you about is real estate investing. I'm talking primary home buyers, people that are in a home that can't afford it now because they've been out of work and they've kicked the can down the aisle a little bit with these mortgage forbearance programs that have been extended now through September. Get ready for some craziness come September. So that's why I'm saying right now is one of the best times to be picking up investment properties, going all in because of these prices and these increased interest rates. So my recommendation is to lock in these interest rates right now, lock in these lumber prices right now if you can, and pull the trigger because the demand is going to keep going up and the building capacity is going to go down. And a lot of these big home builders are pulling back. Now, fortunately, we're not a huge home builder. We're building 300 homes this year, so we're not in the, invitation homes where they build thousands. We do custom jobs, 300 properties, vaulted ceilings, granite countertops in a lot of our properties, stainless steel appliances in one of our main markets in Texas, West Texas, where we get a really high rate of return on investment. Plus the tenants are already in the property after it's newly built and the tenant has moved in. Plus we have financing built into all of our properties. So with the financing and interest rates the way they are, we work with over 60 different lenders. So if you're interested in working with a team that has all of this stuff locked in, I'm happy to have our team jump on the phone with you. Just go to morrisinvest.com. Very simple to do. Just click a 30-minute time slot on the website. Lets you book a time that works for you. And then we'll give you a call at that time. And we have, like I said, we work with 60 different lenders for different financing options. And then if you don't have good credit or you want to go a different route, we also have non-recourse financing built in as well. So that is not tied to your personal credit. That's actually tied to the asset itself. But this is a warning, folks. I mean, we got to pay attention. And we're looking at what Goldman Sachs is saying, that they're predicting an 8% increase in the economy this year. They had to revise their overall estimates in their note on Sunday. Their new note came out after the new stimulus package. We've raised our GDP forecast to reflect the latest fiscal policy news and now expect 8% growth, which is way better, and an unemployment rate dropping to 4%. That means, think about the demand for rental properties right now. Just wrap your head around this. People go back to work, okay? The economy roars back, as Goldman Sachs is predicting. People have there's over $4 trillion right now in the economy that's unspent, that's sitting in people's bank accounts, according to data this morning that I was studying. $4 trillion sitting in unspent. That's because the economy has been closed. People haven't been able to go out. People have held back maybe making that purchase. I want you to imagine what happens on this land rush for trying to get properties in a few months. As interest rates go up, lumber prices go up, and people need to move. People are back to work. That's why right now, like if you're thinking about jumping into this, now is an amazing time to get involved in it. So I'd love to take your questions. Let's open it up for some questions and answers around investing right now. What are some of the hurdles you're dealing with? What are some of the questions you have about the current state of the economy? I tell you, when I look at these numbers, though, and I think, geez, 8% growth, this is fantastic. And then we have this massive infrastructure bill coming, and you have, multiple Democrats, 11 Democrats, or now I think it's up to 12 Senate Democrats, and over 50 Democrats in the House that are pushing for a $2,000 recurring stimulus check every month for people who qualify. Imagine that. Imagine those first-time home buyers. Imagine that $15,000 first-time home buyer tax credit. There's a lot here that can really help people, and they're going to be sitting on money to be able to actually start pulling this in. So let me take a look at some questions here. What we got here? James Rue says, I'm in Missouri where 5 family sawmills are closed and out of business that no longer saw lumber for the market. Wow. James Rue says, here in Kansas, I've noticed a lot of apartment complexes being built in places that have been dead zones for years. Let's see. Sean Williams says, let's see. I'm building a home. Should I expect that my prices will go up? What's the best, FHA or conventional? Let me see right now. Nicole, maybe you can answer that in the chat. What's better right now with this conventional? I would think the conventional is probably, if I look at the conventional prices today, they were really low. I didn't see what the FHA prices were. Yes, but I would expect if you're building a home and you're relying on lumber right now, that's going to be an issue. That's definitely, those prices are going up. We have a shortage right now. And as James just said, he's seeing sawmills that are closed. Rhonda Adamson, thank you for your question. What do you consider to be the best type of investment property? Single homes, apartments, etc.? Well, I can only speak to what we do at Morris Invest. We build single families and duplexes. Those are my favorite. Those are been my favorite for many years. I think it's a fantastic high rate of return, but it's also consistently rented. People that live in, we build large duplexes, so they feel like a single family, and tenants tend to stay for many, many years. You have more space. I think when you're in those little 1-unit, small apartment complexes, it's very transient, and you can expect a lot of tenant turnover. Plus, right now, during this economy, I've heard from some of my commercial real estate investors, those people that invest in apartment complexes, and they're experiencing vacancy rates through the roof, vacancy rates right now. And not only that, the people that are living in the properties have not been able to pay their rent. So huge problems. But that's why single families in good neighborhoods, good school districts, that's our cup of tea. Toff wants to know, what's the lower and higher price for a duplex from your company? I have about $40K in the bank right now. Well, 40K would be a down payment amount, tough. That's like right in the wheelhouse for a down payment. So I would book a call. If you haven't already booked a call with our team, go ahead and do that. But we have different price ranges on our duplexes, in the 100 range up to 350, in that range. So it depends on, we have a bunch of different projects coming online with our townhomes, and we have some that have conventional financing, some that have non-recourse financing, and we're always kind of rolling out these different properties at different times. Thank you, Rhonda. You're welcome. Mike Kerwin says, don't you feel like there's socialism on the horizon? That isn't good for an investment, right? I disagree with that. I think taking care of people is good for investing. It's good for a country. When you have people that are being evicted and thrown out of their homes through no fault of their own, when we don't have a healthcare system that takes care of people in the United States, when you look at countries like Norway, like Finland, like countries in Europe that actually take care of their people, they have healthcare. They don't have student loan debt. They don't believe in debt. It's almost impossible to get a credit card, and when you do, you only get like a $500 limit. And Norway is not a socialist country. It's a market economy, a thriving business economy. So I disagree with that. I think we've been trained to be scared in the United States. The reason we've been so lied to and we've been fed propaganda by mainstream media and our corporate members of Congress that take big bucks from Wall Street and big businesses, oil and gas companies, etc. They are paid to keep those systems running. And what those systems do is keep you poor. They keep you middle class. They keep you spending so much money on drugs, pharmaceutical drugs that are 10 times the price in other parts of the world. So when you understand the propaganda that you're being fed by watching mainstream media, when you watch MSNBC or any of the cable channels, they are run by billionaires. And those billionaires, why do you think there's all kinds of banking commercials that are all over those channels? Why do you think there's all kinds of pharmaceutical and drug ads that are all over those channels? They work together, like symbiotic relationship. So once you understand that, once you start to break free of this matrix and you start to see, whoa, wait a second, we're being spoon-fed a bunch of lies. We're being told that, wait a minute, taking care of people is bad? That's what we've been fed in the United States. And people that want, universal health care or free public college and, no student loan debt, like those are radicals. That's garbage. So I disagree with Mike. I think it's a good question, but I think once you start to peel the onion back a little bit, you realize we've been lied to. Yeah, Toph, you're good to go on that down payment. That would be perfect. Ethan says, my financial advisor called me up yesterday and moved $50K out of bonds into small caps and some cash on the sideline, noting that I had credit. What do you recommend? Number one, I'm not a financial advisor, but number two, financial advisors make money off of you. I very rarely met like an honest financial advisor. I met one financial advisor that I trusted, and that person was on my show a number of years ago, and he blew the lid off. He explained, he's like, why financial advisors don't recommend real estate investing? Because they don't make money off of when you buy a rental property. Only you do. So when they move money around, they're making money off of managing your money. They're making thousands of dollars a year managing your money in the stock market. So I'm not a fan of financial advisors at all. And when you go to them and I'd like to invest in real estate, John. Well, I'd watch out against that there, Ethan. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, why not? Well, I don't know if, you want to get involved in that real estate investing. Yeah, but can you be specific as to why? Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, it's because I'm not going to make any money. So if I had $50,000 for a down payment, I'd be investing that in a single family or duplex property that's cash flowing already. That's in one of the best rental markets in the country. That's what I would be doing if I had that money. And that's what I do. So I walk the walk. I also invest in gold. I also invest in precious metals, and I'm investing in crypto as well, people's currency. So I am not investing in the stock market, and I don't I don't let other people run my money. You realize how much money is being made in fees in your 401k. When you start looking at all the hidden fees, you'd be astounded how much money is being taken out of your retirement account. So if I had that money, I'd want to move it over to. Ethan says my financial advisor is with Merrill Lynch. Is that problematic with this matrix? I just want you to ask yourself this question, Ethan. Why does Merrill Lynch need to spend millions of dollars in television commercials? Why? Why do they need to spend millions of dollars on CNBC television commercials? Put on CNBC this afternoon. I guarantee you within 1 hour, you will see 1 or 2 Merrill Lynch commercials. They're trying to attract people so they can make money off of your money. That's how they make money. Merrill Lynch is not going to suggest that you invest in real estate. They're not going to suggest that you set up a self-directed IRA. By the way, my team at Morris Invest can help you set up a self-directed IRA that you control, where no one's taking money out of it. No, very little fees for a custodian. It's like, I don't know, few $100s a year, I think, not thousands that you're paying to a financial advisor. So if you book a call, Haley on my team can set up your self-directed IRA in no time. You can invest in real estate with it. You could use it to invest in gold. You could buy precious metals. You could buy crypto. You control it, not the guy at Merrill Lynch. Look, it's the easy thing to do. That's why 401ks are so attractive. You started a new company, you move into a new company, and they have a 401k plan that's already set up. The human resources team says, you don't even have to do anything. You just started working here. We already have a 401k plan that's set up for you. Oh, great. Yeah, I don't know anything about retirement. So yeah, that sounds good. It's the same thing with financial advisors. Wow, they sound great. Wait, oh, you're a financial advisor. Wow, you must know a lot more about money than I do. What's funny about financial advisors, this is a big thing that Robert Kiyosaki always talks about. Financial advisors don't invest in what they tell you to invest in. Financial advisors make money off of you. And financial advisors do not even invest in the stuff they're telling you to invest in. It's a dirty little secret of financial advisors. Sorry, I just get frustrated. And when I had a financial advisor on my show and he pulled the lid off of what goes on in that world, and he explained, he's like, financial advisors will not tell you to invest in real estate because there's no middleman. Like when you work with my team at Morris Invest, you buy the house, you own the house 100%. We don't own anything. We make our profit in the sale of the house because we build, 25 at one time. And so you couldn't do that on your own unless you built 25 houses at one time like we do at bulk and scale and all of those things. We get bulk discounts on lumber and everything. And we pass that savings on to you when you buy the house. And so you own the house 100%. You have the deed. You get the cash flow from the tenant. No one's making money in between there. Nowhere. No one. There's no financial advisor making 10% off of that. That's why they don't recommend you invest in real estate, because they don't make money. It's the bottom line. Ethan says, I agree. It's so general to say sell bonds and put into small caps just so they take that 1%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they make a 1% on your trades, right? Yeah, so he just made $500 just by doing that. What could you have done with $500? You could have taken that $500 and invested in crypto. You could have bought Bitcoin yesterday. I bought a bunch in Bitcoin last week and it went from 50,000 up to 61,000. So when you got like an extra few $100s you want to play with, to be able to put like 1 or 2% of your portfolio into some cryptocurrency or some altcoins or some gold, and then a bigger chunk of your change, your more life-changing, wealth-preserving money into real estate investing. You're welcome, Ethan. Let's see. Renee Crandall would love to invest in real estate, but how do you do it if you don't have the money? Well, as I mentioned before, there are 3 things you need to be a real estate investor. Okay, you need money, you need a deal, a house, a property, and you need people, a team. Okay, if you don't have any money, then that means you need a deal and people. So my advice is to learn how to find deals. When you have a deal, money will come to you. Most real estate investors I know when they started had no money, and they partnered with people. You can go to local real estate meetup groups and meet other real estate investors and say, look, I'm new to this. I'm a workaholic. I will go out and find deals. You know, I will get on the phone on Craigslist and call for sale by owners. I will find deals, maybe that need a little fixing up, that need some work. And then guess what? When you find a deal and you get it locked in under a purchase agreement, etc., then the money will flow. Then, you know, real estate flippers will come looking for you. Like, wow, you got a deal, Renee? Great. We'll pay you $10,000 in a finding fee just because you found the deal. Okay? You bring us the deal. We'll take it off your hands. We'll do the rehab on it for 7 months. We'll pay you $10,000 as a finder's fee. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to get some funding. You know, to get access to some capital. You know, look at things you say you have no money, but maybe you've got a retirement account you haven't thought of. You've got an old IRA sitting there that you haven't touched in a while that has 20, 30 grand sitting in it. Maybe you've got a 401k. You can borrow from your 401k. There's other ways to do this. There's a great book called Getting the Money by Susan Lassiter-Lyons. She teaches you, basically, if you don't have any money, here's how to get money. She walks you through step by step how to get money. She has a whole course on getting the money. She's amazing. She's done billions of dollars in real estate deals. She's a good friend of ours. But her book is fantastic, called Getting the Money by Susan Lassiter-Lyons. So check that out. Let's see. Questions here. Yes, Renee, that's wholesaling. Yeah. Mike Kerwin says, I'd invest in Bitcoin, but no one can tell what it is. Let me ask you this. Can you tell me what a US dollar is? I can tell you what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a disintermediated digital currency that is built on the backs of blockchain that is not controlled by any state government. So no government can devalue its currency like the US government does by printing more money. Remember, every government currency in world history has collapsed. That's called fiat currency. Government currency equals fiat currency, just like the car. Every one of them has collapsed. Look what's happening in Venezuela right now. They're printing $1 million bills in Venezuela, and those $1 million bills are worth less than 50 cents in the United States. People are now trading US dollars in Venezuela because no one wants to use the Venezuelan currency. You can't even get a passport printed in Venezuela because it costs too much money. They bring in that special passport paper from Germany. They buy it. The book that a passport is printed on is actually expensive paper, and Venezuela can't even afford it. So people can't even get passports in Venezuela right now if you wanted to travel or move or anything. That's Venezuela. And so they're moving to a digital currency in Venezuela. They're moving as quickly as they can as a hedge against the inflation in Venezuela, moving to a digital currency. United States is moving towards their Federal Now program called digital currency. So China's already there. So digital currency is the future. And I'm saying, what you can do is just, open, if you guys even want some no, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but, I think it's what is gold? What's the value of gold? It's what we as human beings give it, right? So what is the value of gold? It's what we deem its value is. That's it. Same thing is true of crypto. Same thing is true of real estate. Like, what is the value we place on this particular item? Art, etc. U.S. dollar. But I would argue the U.S. dollar, since it's not tied to gold, is just as, to me, more volatile. And it's air, it's fake. It doesn't even exist. At least with Bitcoin, not one government controls it and can manipulate it like we do with the U.S. dollar. Ethan wants to know what we do with the computer systems that fail with Bitcoin. Well, what would you do if you're, like in Greece during their economic collapse, when people couldn't go to the bank to get their money out of the banks? People went to ATMs and the ATM said, sorry, can't get your money. We don't have your money. The banks collapsed. There was a run on the banks. So what happens if you can't go to Wells Fargo and get your money out of what about Wells Fargo goes down? With Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's disintermediated. I mean, there's no one network. It's all over the world. So you would literally need the entire earth to shut down for it to happen. Because even if Russia was taken over and there was Bitcoin nodes in Russia, it wouldn't matter because the rest of the network is all set up and separated. So that's why this, that you guys, think about that. And that's why real estate is so powerful, because it's an actual tangible asset that you can touch. You can actually invest in. It actually produces monthly cash flow. It's a hedge against inflation. Adam wants to know, Adam says, does one need to start an LLC in Texas to get one of your turnkey properties there, or can an out-of-state LLC own in Texas? Yeah, Adam, just book a call with us. You do not need to start an LLC in Texas, but our team will help you with that. Hey, Joseph, I didn't see your question. Cacao? I didn't see your question. I was over on the other... Christine Eason Roebuck, how do you get down payment without getting a loan? And don't know people with money and already done fund group but still have a credit card payments for the down payment. Again, I would read Susan Lassiter-Lyon's book on getting the money. I mean, she walks you through step by step on how to do it. That would be my advice. Ryan Timoteo? No, I haven't seen that this morning. How is it? I haven't looked. Let me check. He's asking about a gold mine that I was keeping my eye on. Let's see what I've got here. Yeah, as that other copper mine comes on, that copper and zinc mine, it's going to be a big deal for them, especially with the shortage on copper right now. Nuke Mayo says, what's your take on the speculated wave of foreclosures coming to the market and the effects on the new home builds? I don't know what effect it'll have on new home builds. Here's the problem. We need 20 million homes in the United States. And so people that are going to go through foreclosure still need a place to live. And so they're going to still need rental property. If their mortgage fails because they can't pay their mortgage, they're going to need a rental property. So we're going to need 20 million units still in the United States. And we're nowhere close to filling that. And then if we have, home builder confidence slowing down, as interest rates are tricking up a little bit, but they're back down today, and then lumber prices going up, there's going to be pent-up demand for new homes. There's always pent-up demand for new homes. And we stalled for a few years. So there's a backlog of people waiting for new homes because builders just weren't building at the clip they were before. And then they started ramping up. And then, of course, the pandemic hit and they were continuing through that. And we saw like huge surge and then lumber prices. And so these home builders are looking to see, okay, what are the lumber prices going to be? Where can we, what about interest rates? Should we pull back on our plans to expand? So let's see. Ethan, would you recommend creating Airbnb property so you can still visit and stay in your Texas home or Florida? You just got to be careful. I'm not a fan. I mean, if you've seen what's going on with Airbnb during this pandemic, I mean, you really have to know your stuff when you're investing in Airbnbs. You're creating a new job for yourself, number one. Number two, Airbnbs that work best are in vacation spots, right? And so we saw what happens when vacation spots get shut down, like Vegas, Orlando, other places that are not pandemic proof, right? So now, oh my God, I'm not traveling to Disney World. Crap, what happens to my Airbnb at Disney, or near Disney World? Guess what? Sitting vacant. And no one's traveling. And now what? So I'm a fan of long-term rentals in boring markets. We're in West Texas. It's an expanding area. All kinds of Fortune 500 companies, healthcare industry, university industry, low vacancy, low crime, appreciation, and population growth. There's no theme park nearby. There's no Disney World nearby. It's just a great town, great area that's expanding. It's boring, but it's not also, it's pandemic proof and it's pandemic resistant. Cyprian says, I already have 7 residential homes. Thank you. You're welcome. I do not have any 401k or an IRA. I'm 38. Do you think that I should put money into an IRA and buy real estate, or should just buy real estate out of retirement and get lower fees and less stress? Cyprian, I mean, my team can help you with that if you're interested. I would book a call with our team. Just go to Morris Invest and book a call, and we can talk you through that process, because we could look at what we do is try to tailor it to you. So we could see we could point you in the right direction. I think this would work for you. This would, but I think obviously there's incredible benefits if you've got an IRA, converting that to a self-directed IRA that you can buy real estate inside of that grows tax-free is incredible. Okay. Yes. And it doesn't have to be any headaches at all, because then you've got like a team that's helping you with that, so that any repairs or, tax issue, whatever, gets paid out of that self-directed account. You don't touch it until you retire. If you need like the immediate cash flow today, then you would consider buying it outside of a self-directed IRA. So you're seeing that cash flow today. So just some options to think through. I think there's incredible upsides to both. I own properties in my self-directed IRA, and I own properties outside of my self-directed IRA. So I think book a call with our team and we'll kind of see. I think it'd be better to get on the phone and kind of see what your goals are, and we could help you with that. Yeah, Nicole, thanks for answering that question. So with the Airbnb thing, you're gonna have to go out and try to find management companies, and then how long are your rentals going to be? 1 day, 2 day rentals with Airbnb? You're going to do a week-long rental, and you've got to make sure that hey, is Disney open? Are this vacation spot open, or is it going to be in a boring area that you're going to do an Airbnb? Like we did an Airbnb in the Pocono Mountains when we first tried this, the house we have in the Pocono Mountains, and it was some days we book it for 4 days, and then it was like 2 weeks there was nobody in it, and then we'd have somebody there for 2 days, and then you have to pay for cleaning each time. You really need to do Airbnb properly. There's a couple of YouTube channels that really teach you how to do that, but they got hit hard. I mean, this year, really hard. So that's my advice on that. I do not do Airbnbs, and I'm not the expert on it. But we've definitely had Airbnb experts on our podcast. If you're interested, you can listen to those episodes if you want to dive more deeply into that. RG Tomato says, why isn't there much correlation to Phoenix Gold's stock between the Canadian symbol PXA and the OTC on the in US symbol? I'm not sure what that correlation between those two, but the symbol is PGRCF. That is the proper symbol, PGRCF. Ethan, no, we're not. We have a long-term tenant in that property now. 2-year lease, $1,500 a month. Let me see if there's any more questions over here. Thanks, Jim. Absolutely, Jim. You absolutely should. Make sure you do your research. And make sure too, one of my biggest pieces of advice that I ever got was if you have a company that's grown tremendously, that's very, very important also, to be with a company that has the bruises, that's been able to overcome adversity, go through difficult times, go through downturns in the economy. All of those things are really important. Like when we're, we've certainly learned our lesson over the years on people that we've worked with. And for instance, property management teams, big one. So unless they're in business for 5 years or more, how are they screening their tenants? What kinds of software do they use? What kind of background checks are they doing on their tenants? Like all of those things. If they've been in business for less amount of time, then chances are they haven't been through difficult times. You want to be able to be with companies and property management and anything like that whether it's an Airbnb property management team that you're looking at, you want to make sure that they've got the cuts and bruises to prove that they've been through the fire. And that's how you get stronger. That's how you get better. That's how you learn. And that's how you don't make mistakes. All of those things are incredibly important. Thank you to all of you guys. Looks like let's see if any more good questions here. Thank you for all your good questions, guys. Yeah, we are building, and like I said, we are building over 300 homes this year, all new construction, in some of the best markets in the country. We don't do renovated properties anymore. That's not an area that we focus on. Let's see if there's any other good questions. Any other good questions? Ethan, what I would do is we can help you with that. Just book a call with us, Ethan, and then Haley or another member of the team can walk you through how to do that. I mean, if you've got your money in a particular stock, or you You should be able to run the show, okay? And then to be able to set up a self-directed IRA so that that money can come out of that account into a self-directed or into your personal account. You know, that I don't want to give you advice in that regard, but let our team handle that, okay? Yeah, go ahead and do that, Ethan. We'll take care of that. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's stream. Thank you guys so much, Renee. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for your great questions. Rhonda Adamson, where are the best markets? I mean, there are a lot of good markets, but you know, we've certainly spent years analyzing different markets, and where we spend most of our time now is in West Texas, Tennessee. But we're constantly analyzing markets, and we're looking for we have a video here on the channel if you want to watch on our YouTube channel, like what we look for in different markets. Maybe we can drop that into the chat there for Rhonda so she can check it out. But we look for, you know, we're looking for low crime. We're looking for jobs advancing, not declining. We're looking for population growth, not declines. We're looking for a diversity of jobs, meaning not just one oil refinery. You know, we want to make sure there's university, healthcare systems, all of those things. And affordability. We want to make sure that we're able to provide a great return on investment to anyone who buys a home. So anywhere, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% return on investment, net return is one of our goals. So it's got to be, you know, all of these things need to come into play. That's why West Texas has been fantastic. Plus the laws, it needs to be landlord favorable. You know, and Texas is landlord friendly. It's the #1 landlord friendly state in the country. Indiana is number 2. There you go. So check out that video, 10 things you must do before investing. Thank you, Kelly, for posting that. And thanks to all of you guys for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you will be notified when we get a new video publishes. Go ahead and hit that little bell notification too if you're watching this on YouTube. You can follow us there as well. And over on Facebook, you can hit the follow button and follow us there. Much love to all of you guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon. Now go out there, take action, and become a real estate investor. I believe it's the #1 way to build wealth. We'll see you next time, everyone.